Hey guys, Joe here, and today we're going to be looking at Town Hall 8. I'm working out of the Paradox clan, which is the newly acquired clan for the A-Team family. And basically we're down there helping Town Hall 8s and 9s, and going to be assisting them in learning and growing together as a team down there. So I have pulled a couple of attacks from them using the GoVaHo strategy. That's Golems, Valkyries, and Hog Riders for those of you that are new to the acronym altogether. And really the addition of the Valkyrie into a Hog attack, it really takes care of a lot of the issues that players that use Hog Riders all the time have to deal with when it comes to either the cleanup portion of the attack or just the frustration of some of the traps that hinder the Hog Riders. Plus the tankiness of the Valkyrie can be easily compared to the P.E.K.K.A. However, the Valkyrie moves a lot faster than the P.E.K.K.A. does, and it also prefers grouped up structures like these ones seen here, which a lot of Town Hall 8 layouts have a lot of really close grouped up structures, and there's not really a lot of space in between them. So we're going to start with the planning process on this strategy, things to look for and things to plan for, and then also I'm going to go through the sequence of events on this strategy altogether and talk about some of the funneling issues and things of that nature. I have 3 different replays to show you today, 3 different compositions, and hopefully you'll be able to get some value out of this video and apply it into your attacks at Town Hall 8. So we're going to start with a replay by Mike. As we start by looking at the army composition, this is a pretty standard composition for the Town Hall 8 GoVaHo with 2 golems shattered, if you will, and then also 4 earthquake spells, Valkyries, and the Hog Riders, also with the addition of the wizard for the funneling process and taking out any air troops that are put in the clan castle. So as we look at the base design itself, you would see that the 3 air defenses are centralized and triangulated, as well as a clan castle that can be easily lured. So really the design of this base, if you're going to hit it with air attack, is the idea here is for the dragons to circle the outsides of the base and avoid the core altogether and get tore up by the air defenses. So that's what makes this base so prone to a GoVaHo strategy, in the sense of we're going to identify the clan castle and whether it can be lured. And as Town Hall 8, definitely I would recommend luring the clan castle and get rid of those troops that are in there. But also when it comes to the Hog Riders, a couple of other contributing factors to note are the 3 giant bombs that are on a Town Hall 8 base. So really in this base layout we don't really see a lot of places for the giant bombs, or whether there's going to be any double giant bomb, at least one of those locations. But then also we have to take a note of where the enemy Barbarian King is at, because he always likes to hinder the Hog Riders, whether it's mid-raid or at the cleanup portion of the raid. And a lot of times we get frustrated with Hog Riders because they focus on the defenses and they don't fight off or fend off against that Barbarian King. Also, another trap to worry about would be the skeleton traps. So with this composition right here, you don't necessarily have the poisons. So really when it comes to the clan castle and the skeleton traps, we're really heavily focused on the high DPS of the Valkyries and the wizards, because most of the time we're seeing dragons and balloons come out of the clan castles. So really you want to save a couple of your wizards for the cleanup portion. However, if you're able to keep a lot of your Hog Riders alive throughout most of the raid itself, the cleanup portion of these bases is fairly quick. So really, as we start with the execution phase of the attack, Mike starts out here by dropping his 4 earthquake spells and opening up 4 compartments here on the upper portion of this base. And then he uses a Hog Rider in order to lure that clan castle, which actually in turn ends up being a high level dragon. Pretty easy to take out with a couple of wizards. He uses a barbarian here to pull it from outside of the base, and then he uses one of his golems in order to detour while he drops his wizards. So he's not really wasting his wizards here. He drops a second golem there. And then just pay attention to the couple of wizards he drops to the north and south of that initial kill squad. He opens a pretty wide funnel for the Valkyries that he brings in his clan castle. And as you see there, the Valkyries run down and take out that enemy king, if you will, fairly quick. And then they work their way into the base. He drops a heal spell leading to where the kill squad initially walks into to get their health back up. And then he starts working his hogs in from the south. And there's not a lot of defenses to the south, so it works pretty easily in the two different groups there. And the hogs, he has plenty of hogs in order to clean up the defenses from the southern portion of the base as those Valkyries and wizards are working in the north. So with the addition of the Valkyries in this strategy, you don't really have to necessarily worry about those skeleton traps, so he didn't even need a poison on this raid. The golems up there, it takes out another giant bomb location. And at this point, he's already taken out all the defenses left on the base, and he has plenty of troops in the archers and the additional wizards that he held onto for the cleanup process. So he's not really so focused on his hog riders, and the addition of the Valkyries, like I said before, assist with taking out some of the issues that the hog rider tends to run into when they're on these bases by themselves. So as we move into the next raid by a different attacker, we have a different base layout and a different troop composition. He actually goes cold-blooded here with one single golem in his army composition. But I want you to take note of the defenses on this outer ring of this base. Great for hog riders and surgical hogging. And this base layout is really perfect for destroying dragons as they try to circle the entire base. He also brings 4 earthquake spells and a heal spell and an rage, so slightly different composition than the previous attack. Also take note of the builder's huts that are, it's an old school tactic that's for time issues on Town Hall 8 bases, still done at Town Hall 9 on some accounts. He draws the clan castle, but he does it differently where he uses his barbarian king to tank instead of a golem, and then uses a pretty large group of wizards, a little bit larger than what I would recommend. However, his golem actually goes up towards that cannon in the east and leaves all his wizards in the south undefended or no tank with them. And they kind of just wander off by themselves and get owned by that wizard tower. But as you pay attention, he drops one single Valkyrie up in the east to take care of that barracks. And then he's really patient with his Valkyrie deployment, and that's something to highlight here is the patience of the deployment of your Valkyries. A tendency to drop your Valkyries in a large group and not getting that funnel set. You end up tending to lose your Valkyries and then circling the entire base, even though he does have 3 or 4 that stray away and go on the northern portion on the outer side of the base, but he gets just enough on the inside. But as you've seen there, his golems come up from the southwest and take out the defenses on the western portion of the base and then move up into the core of the base. End up getting taken out by a giant bomb, but at that point of the raid there was nothing really left to worry about there. But the Valkyries really assisted with removing the enemy king and getting rid of those skeleton traps. That way the hogs are able to do their work on the defenses that were left on the map. So as we finish up with this, he only has that one last builder's hut, and that's pretty much a wraps on this raid. So as we move into the last replay of this series, we have Atlas here, and if you actually look at the army composition, it's almost arguable that this is more of a GoVaHo than a GoVaHo. However, he has a maxed out clan castle for Town Hall 8, which is 25 housing. So he brings 3 maxed Valkyries within that clan castle, and then really he only brings 1 golem, so he's also cold-blooded. And instead of earthquakes, he brings his poisons, and then 3 heal spells for the hogs. And so if you actually look at this base, you got an easily lurable clan castle, and then point defenses on the outer ring of the base itself. So it's another great base for hog riders. And really what I want to highlight here is the deployment of the Valkyries in order to take out certain things that hinder the Hog Riders. So as you see here, he uses 2 Hog Riders to lure the clan castle out, and then he's going to drop his single golem up in the northwest in order to lure that dragon towards him, use wizards to take care of the structures on the outer portion of the base. Then he drops his clan castle in order to take out that barbarian king, poison to work on that dragon while the wizards work on it, and then the Valkyries are going to go into the core of the base. Now what I want you to take note of is as he deploys his hogs here is the timing of from the moment that that dragon went down, the clan castle was removed, he took out the barbarian king, and then he instantly started working on deploying his hogs. So really, if he had taken a couple more hogs on the southeastern portion of the base, they would have worked their way into the core altogether. So really the note to take here is that the Valkyries are going into the core and tank, so to speak, in order to detour the defenses for the hogs to work. And that's a good way to use the Hog Riders, is to have enough golems to go to the core of the base to tank for the Hog Riders while the defenses are firing upon them, or they're focused on the core of the base and not the outer portion of the base. So the Hog Riders here are going to finish up on that Tesla that's down in the corner. That seems to be like a new fad here. Well, it's been around for a little while, but kind of annoying. The Tesla is down in the corners, so that's something also to look forward to, is the placement of the barracks. Keep an eye out for those, and the Teslas in the corners of the base in order to take up time. Really, it's just one of those deterrents to cause you to have that 99% raid. So as you see here, he has plenty of troops to finish up the cleaning process on this base. And as we wrap it up there, really what I want you to take from this video, if you're newer to Town Hall 8, is the timing of everything and how to create that funnel. Patience is a must when it comes to creating the funneling process and using the Valkyries. If you don't wait for the funnel, then you're going to lose your Valkyries and they're going to go around the base and not go to the core like you need them to. Hey guys, Joe here, and if you made it to this part of the video, thank you. The intent of this channel is to actually slow things down for the viewer, and I'm going to provide overlays and graphics in order to show you what I'm talking about. If you find value in my material, please pass it along to others. I only solely do this for the passion of the game and the family aspect, and as always, you take care.